Some Republicans are putting distance between themselves and the president's comments about Vladimir Putin. This coming amid reports of growing palace intrigue within the Trump White House. Senior political analyst Britt Hume joins us tonight to talk about that. And Britt, good evening to you.
Hi, Bill. Good to see you.
When you look at this now, how do you analyze how this is coming down at the moment? What explains, or perhaps what's the calculation behind the president's words?
What I think is happening here, Bill, is that Trump has this hunch that he's going to be able to strike some kind of relationship with Vladimir Putin in which they will be allies in the war on terror and fight ISIS together, and that he will have a smooth relationship with him. I don't think he's sure that's going to happen. Indeed, he says he's not sure that's going to happen. But he seems intent on protecting the possibility. Thus, you hear him, refusing to go along with Bill O'Reilly's quite factual assertion that Putin is a killer. In the meantime, though, this is a wonderful example, Bill, of the striking distance between what Trump says and what he and the people around him do. Trump says this silly thing about Putin, in which he seems to create a moral equivalence between the Putin regime and our government. And then, in the meantime, however, just a few days ago, Nikki Haley, in her first speech as our UN ambassador, attacks the Russians and makes it very clear that the United States policy, as far as she's concerned, is opposed to what he did in Crimea and elsewhere. So you get this striking contrast between what the people around Trump, and often himself, do and what he sometimes says. He says a lot of silly things. He often does a lot smarter things.
Topic number two, Britt. What is your sense about what happens with that Ninth Circuit in San Francisco regarding the immigration ruling?
Well, the Ninth Circuit is a left-wing circuit. I don't know which judges are on the panel and where they fall. The law, as far as I can tell, and I've read a lot on this, is very much on the president's side here, which is not to say this is wise policy, but that's not the question. The question is whether the president had the legal right to do what he did, and whether the judge in Seattle who said in the process of issuing a temporary restraining order, which, by the way, does nothing but freeze things until the actual legality of the matter can be adjudicated, whether he had a leg to stand on when he said that the plaintiffs, that is, those who were suing the administration, were likely to prevail on the merits. He didn't really argue why they were going to win on the merits, and I don't think he could have, because I think the chances of a victory by the plaintiffs on the merits are very remote. So I think the administration has a strong case. Whether the Ninth Circuit is likely to uphold it remains to be seen, because the Ninth Circuit is the most reverse circuit of all, and you can never tell what they're going to do out there.
Let's see what happens tonight or tomorrow, based on John Roberts reporting a moment ago. Third topic, Britt. There was a story today in the New York Times that the president is kicked to the side, suggesting a lot of palace intrigue on the inside. Sean Spicer was asked about this on board Air Force One just about 2 hours ago when he said this.
That story was so riddled with inaccuracies and lies that they owe the president an apology for the way that thing was. There were just literally blatant factual errors, and it's unacceptable to see that kind of reporting, or so-called reporting. That is literally the epitome of fake news.
So reflect on your time at the White House as a reporter there. How does this happen, or does it happen 2 weeks in, Britt?
Well, one aspect of the story was reporting on apparent alleged goings-on late at night in the White House, where the president is, because his wife and son are still in New York alone, and it spoke of him, wandering in his bathrobe and so on. I can tell you this: very, very few people know what a president is doing in the family quarters late at night. And it is hard to imagine that any of them would be talking to the New York Times at this stage. So I think there is ample reason to be skeptical of that story, however interesting it may have been.
Thank you, Britt. Good to see you tonight. Britt Hume with us here.
You bet.
Thank you.